Yeah. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about of the what exactly by the SAP and what it was we have already discussed. And now we are making about of some of the basic things of the SAP. Some of the basic things of the SAP. And here here, when we are going to discuss about of the first of all, let us see. Now, Mr. Prashant is working in Infosys. Mr. Prashant is working in Infosys, and the Infosys got the project from the something around Mankind Commerce. That means Infosys got the project from the Mankind, and they want to make into the SAP. That means the Mankind people wants to make their organization into the SAP system. In this situation, Mr. Prashant is working in an Infosys. Now like this. That means Mr. Prashant is working in Infosys, being as an SAP MM consultant. Right? Being as an SAP MM consultant, the client has been given the requirement to the Infosys people, and they got the requirement from the client, and as well as the Prashant has to be customized the applications of the SAP in the area of the FI and CV. So, in before of that, this was the screen. This is the PC which has been allotted to the Mr. Prashant. And now Mr. Prashant wants to enter on the SAP. In the situation, how they can enter onto the SAP? That means, being as an SAP consultant in the first session, my first question here it is, how to enter on SAP. First of all, we need to clarify about this. So whenever the person of the consultant is having their PC like this, they can have the log on button like this. This is what. That means, first of all, what they have to do that, double click on SAP log on. That means whenever one client or the user wants to enter onto the SAP, they has to be go for double click on SAP log on under desktop. Done. Whenever they have been entered into the SAP, that means they have been double clicked on the SAP, they will get one more screen like this. See, which I said that this PC has been handled by the Prashant now. Maybe after completion of his duty, Mr. Srinivas is also accessing the same PC. But Mr. Prashant is working for the client of the Mankind Company. But Mr. Srinivas is working for the client of the Pennas. That means a number of persons or the users can access the same PC with the different servers. Those servers has been listed here. That means what the person or the user has to do that, select the server, and as well as click on log on. Click on log on. This is the server which I am using, MM with SAP app, and then log on. Whenever the person or the user will be going to logging on, it will be asking about of the authentications. The first authentication here it is asking about of the client, as which we have selected our server of the Mankind. As in the Mankind also, Mr. Prashant is an MM consultant, as well as Mr. Mahesh is an SD consultant, and Mr. Srinivas is an FA consultant. Maybe Mr. Malesh is an HR consultant. But everyone can use the same server, but the teams will be different. The team ID which we can call as an here is the client ID, here I am using the 800. And that means the client of the 800 in the sense of it was restricted for the MM consultant. Under that MM client ID, what would be Mr. Prashant user ID? That means each and every team can have a multiple of the members. Team is the combination of a lot of the members. Who are the members will be there, and each and every user and a member can have their own user ID. Here the user ID which we are using, here itself it is an SAP user. And For that user ID, what would be the password? Here the password which I am using here, it is an India123. India123. And as well as what was the language which they are accessing, which they want to access, the language of EN. These are the authentications in general which we are using. And from there, press enter. Right. And from there, press enter. Okay. So the first thing will be the client. The client which we are using here is an 800, and as well as the user. So the user which I am accessing as an SAP user, and the password which is accessing the password will be the India123, and the language which we are using here, that was an EN, and as well as after that press enter. Now let us see here my user ID which I have created in my server. This is my own server which I have created as an SAP ABAP 17, and my password was something, and the language is EN, and make sure that enter. Now you can ask that, okay, Mr. Vijay, which we are using the client of the 800, okay, and the user of so and password is something. So fine, the user ID and password will be the different for each and every user. But is the client ID also will be different for each and every user? Or else, even when I am going to the real time, can I use that client ID of the 800? No. Why? Because here the client ID of 800, 801, 810 and 811. These are the four client IDs which we are calling as an IDES clients. IDES clients. What do you mean by the IDES in the sense of international, demonstrational and educational system? That means for the academic purpose and as well as the demonstration purpose, we can use these of the four clients, but not in the real. That means when you are putting up any fake experience, if the client is, when you are facing off an interview, the interview is asking that, okay, Mr. which you are already working in some client, it's a project. Can you tell me that which client ID you are using? In that situation, don't use of these four clients. If you can use these four client IDs, you will be good. Why? Because these four is for the ID. Right, done. When I am entering onto the SAP, the first initial screen will be like this. So the initial screen of the SAP when we are logging in, this will be calling as a GUI. So what would be the GUI? So what would be the GUI? Means the GUI in the sense of it was a graphical user interface. This was a graphical user interface, which simply we can call this GUI screen as an end user screen. That means being as a consultant, we don't want to use the screen. Being after completion of the customization and the implementation, the client users will be using the screen, which is called as an end user screen. And okay, boss, you are saying that we can enter like this. At the time we are entering onto the GUI, that will be good. But being as a consultant, which screen I need to access? The screen which we are calling as an IMG. What was an IMG? In the sense of it will be called as an implementation guide screen. Implementation guide screen, which we will be calling this as an consultant screen. Okay, fine. When we are entering onto the SAP, it has been shown as a GUI screen. But being as a consultant, I need to go for the IMG. How? That was the question. That means whenever we want to enter on the SAP, we will make sure using these are the credentials, and after that, when we want to make any entry of the IMG from the GUI, what we need to do that? We need to use them on code, which the code will be calling as an SPRO. What will be the SPRO in the sense that it is a code to move from GUI to IMG. Let's have a look here. This is in a command field which we can use. Any of the command for the system here we can SPRO, enter. And even if the people is asking that, what do you mean by SPR? Most of the situation the employee is asking that. What is an SPRO in the sense of SAP project reference objects? Project reference objects. So what exactly by the SPRO in the sense of the SPRO means SAP project reference objects. That is the SPR. See, first of all, double click on the SAP logon and select your server and then log on. Give your credentials. That means you are accessing user ID and passwords. And then make sure to move from GUI to IMG is SPRO. And even there is no case sensitive. Either we can use the small letters or the capital letters. There is no case sensitive for the transaction codes. Even not only the transaction codes. In SAP, when you are giving anything, there is no more request. There is no more request. Either we can use the small letter or else the capital letter. Okay, but from the GUI to IMG, it was an SPR. Accepted. But what about from IMG to GUI? I have entered from GUI to IMG. Even I want to come back from there to here again. Why I need to go for the /n? What was the purpose of the /n in the sense of it is a code to move from IMG to GUI. Let's have a look here. /n. Simply we can say that quit. When you are doing any of the transaction without of the any intimation, you can directly quit from the IMG to GUI by using the /n. And even if I'm having only one session in SAP, like tab screens, I want to use the multiple of the tab screens as like as the Google Chrome. Is it possible or not? In the situation we can say yes. But how? In the situation we can use the /o. What is a /o in the sense of to create a new session we have to use the /. To create a multiple session. Okay, we said that we can use a multiple session. That means shall I use the 10 or 15 or 20 or 30? Means no. Why? Because we are having only the max of 6 sessions. See? Now we are having only one. Shall I go for the /o? Enter. The second one has been generated. When we are going to the /o, third one has been generated. Even I am trying for the another one. 4. Next. 5. Done. Next. Sixth one has been generated. And if you want to go for the next one, it should not allow. Maximum of 6. Okay, good. Which we are accepted, the maximum of 6. Okay, was to create a new session, it was in a /. And if you want to close the current session, /i to close the current session. close the current session. Being as a professional in SAP, we need to use all these functional keys mostly. That means most of the time we are not allowing to use the keyboard. We can use with this shortcut to close the current session. So what it will do is to close the current session. Close the current session. And even, okay, but you are saying that don't use the mouse. At the time we can go for the directly to the function with these of the keys. In any situation, if you want to go for it, or if you want to go for the double click, at the time we need to use the double click for the mouse. But no. How it will be possible in the sense of by using of the functional keys. F1 is for the help. Let's first of all check it out. /o, sorry, /i. Done. It was only the file. Even I want to close the next one. /i. /i. Only the 3. /i. Only those 2. Even if I can go for the next one. /i. And /i. Closed. Only one of the session happening. This is how we can close the current session by using the /i. That means to create a new session we can go for the /o, the max object, and closing the current session which we can use the /i. And even if we want to go for clicking on the double click by using the mouse, no, we need not. We can directly go without of using of the mouse by using the functional keys like this. F1 help. Even you can place the cursor anywhere and just click on the F1. What it was and how it was. Anywhere in your shape. Just press the cursor and just press the F1. You can get the help. And even the F2 is for making of the double click. Double. And as well as F3 double click and F3 come back one step. Come back one step. And F4 to open the radio button. To open the help tool or the radio button. To open the radio button. And F5, it was for the new entries. And the F6, it was for the copy. And F7, select all. And F8, select a single row or a line. And F9, to remove the selection, that means which we can call it as an deselect. And F10, going for the menu bar. And F11, save. And F12, quit. That means as like as in the /. That was an quit. So in generally we are using all these functional keys when we are working with the SFs. So being as a professional consultant, we need to use the always with the keyboard, not with the mouse. Then only your professionalism will be comes into the outside. When you are putting a fake experience and you are facing up an interview, the lecturer is asking to access the PC. When you are using the mouse, automatically you will recognize that it is an That's right. Don't be as a professional. Use with the mouse out instead of the mouse, the phone. And now, let us start with the MM, Materials Management. So what exactly by the MM in the sense of which we can call as an materials management. That means whatever the clients is consist of their materials and how to manage or admin that materials. That means how they are having, what are the materials which they are having, and even in the logistics, how those materials will be handled. All these things will be coming into the major thing for the MM consultants or the MM users, not only the consultant, let's take the MM user. The first thing will be the purchase requisition. Purchase requisition. That means what are the requirements which we have to make the purchase. And the second thing is purchase order. How much of the stocks we need to place the order to the vendor. And the third one will be the goods received. And the fourth one will be the invoice received. Only these four transactions will be covered in the vendor. But for creation of these of the four transactions, we require a multiple of the masters. What is the first master record? It is material master record, and as well as the vendor master record, and as well as the pricing master record. Even the pricing can be handled by the SD and MM, both of the people. But the SD people are having the pricing for making of the sale, for the MM people for the making of the purchase. Same way there is a condition type, access sequence and everything will be. And even after completion of this material and vendor and the pricing, now we are receiving stocks. There should be one important role will be that which we are calling as an tax. So in generally, this tax will be calling as an MMC, and Middle Management of the country India version. That means which we can has to be go for the SIN as a output tax. Output tax means what we are paying. Sorry, what we are paying is an input tax. That means when we ring of the purchases, the raw material value will be the 100 rupees. But how much we are paying in the sense of? We are paying for the 35,000 instead of 30,000. Why? Because the remaining 5,000 will be comes under the taxes. What are the taxes will be there? How much of the percentages have been accepted? If the vendor is something and the material is something, how much percentage of tax has to be applicable? If the vendor is somewhere and the material is some X, how much of the tax percentage has to be applicable? Tax will be comes with the finance. That's why we need to go for the MM with FIC. And as well as, let's see, this material. This material will becomes by the two modules. One is on the MM and as well as P, the production, the logistics. And the vendor will becomes with the MM and FI. Pricing will becomes with the MM and SI. And the taxes will becomes with the MM and FI. Right. And even when during of the delivery receiving goods receiving, mostly we need to interact with the warehouse. That means whatever the stocks which we have received, it will be comes under the which storage location, which godown it was. That will be also covered into the MM with WH or WM, warehouse. That means in this learning of the we need to make the integration of all this. We need to make an integration with all of these. One is the with PP, with FI, with SG, with FI, and with double. These are the main concepts which we need to. These are the main things which we need to integrate with the other functionality. Okay, let's forget about this one. Now let us start with the So for every way, the is a common point. Now let us start with the But in point of view, the first thing which we need to know about of the plant, what the client is consists of the plant. What do you mean by a plant in the sense of the plant is nothing but like a manufacturing unit. Manufacturing units of the plant. Manufacturing units of the plant. Under the plant, the next thing will be the divisions. What would be the division in the sense of wide ranging spectrum of the products. Wide ranging spectrum of the products. That means which we are working for the mankind, farmers. In the mankind farmers generally, in the farmers what are the divisions which we are having is antibiotic, anti-ulcerants, cardio division, gynec division. Those are the different types of the divisions. Under each and every division we can have a multiple of the products. That's why it is not in a material. It was in a material division. The range of the products, the same attributes of the products can be clumped in together in a one division. And the second one, and the next one which we are discussing about of the storage location. Storage location. What exactly by the storage location in the sense of where the material will be stored. Where the material will be stored for manufacturing products. For manufacturing products, and as well as storage locations. Storage locations can be depends upon or can be depended on plant. Depends upon the plant, it will be changed. So I can say, for example, my client is saying that they are having 3 plants. One is on the Mumbai, another one is on the Pune, another one is on the one is on Mumbai, another one is on Hyderabad, another one is on the Bangalore. But can we say that for the manufacturing of the plants of the Mumbai, we have stored the material in the Delhi. Is it good? Why? Because the plant is in the Mumbai. For making of the manufacturing of the plant in the product, you are making the storage in the Delhi. It was not. That means it's nearby to the plant. That's what I'm saying. Each and every storage location can be depends upon under on the plant. Each and every storage location depends upon the plant. And including with these 3, we can have one more is that purchasing organization. Purchasing organization. So what would be the purchasing organization? Purchasing organization. What exactly by the purchasing organization in the sense of the department which is responsible for purchasing. Which is responsible for purchasing. That is called as a purchase. But in generally, in a decision or the one decision. But we need to interact with the WM also. Right? For that, we need to make an integration and the creation of the shipping point. shipping point for making of this ST. What was the shipping point in the sense of where the material will be stored after the manufacturing and before the sales. That means whatever the finished goods will be stored in the shipping point, and whatever the raw material will be stored in the storage location. Right? Including with this, whenever I want to interact with the FI, in before of these, we aren't required the company. What it was? Company. What the client's company will be there. The client's company, which we are calling as a group of the company. Group of the company. And the second one, which we can call as a company code. So, what was a company code in the sense of it was nothing but like a subsidiary part of the company. Subsidiary part of the company. Now the client has been given all this information to our business service. So as like as in the same way which we are discussing. Now what is the plant? Sorry, what is the company? Mankind group of things. What will be the company code? Mankind Farmers. And where the Mankind Farmers having their plants? One is on Pune, one is on Mysore, one is on Bangalore, one is on Chennai, and one is on Coimbatore. Those are the plants. And what are the division products they are manufacturing? The Mankind Farmers have been going to manufacturing of the anti-ulcerants, antibiotics, gynec, BP, cardio, and other things are the divisions. And what are the storage locations which they are having there? Depends upon the plant, nearby the plants which we are having the manufacturing of the storage. We can call it the storage. They are having the purchasing organizations. One is for the raw material manufacturing, raw material purchase, and second one is the packing material purchase, and the third one is the chemicals. And the shipping points they are having the Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Mysore, Uti, and so on and so forth. That means the client's company's godown. Godown is nothing but a kind of shipping point. The storage location is not in a shipping point. Storage location is used to maintain the value of the materials which is used for manufacturing, not for making of it. So first of all, as per the client's requirement, we need to make a creation of all these things. So for making of all these things, the initially first which we require the company and the company. But as we said that these of the two companies, the company could have been developed or customized by the finance. If you know the finance, you can. But otherwise, for making of the practical session, here the IDEA system consists of the one of the predefined company and the company code which you mentioned is the 1000, 1000 or 2205. Either we can take the both of these. Or else if we know the FA also we can create that one. That is not an issue. So for creation of those of the company and the company code, from here the menu path will be like this: SPRMO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, under that financial accounting, under that the first one will be the defined company. For this the transaction code for the shortcut key is OX15, and as well as the second one will be the edit, copy, delete and check company code. Added copy delete check company code, and this was for the OX02. Now let us start with these two. The first thing here, SPRO. Yeah, Mr. Prashant, are you following now?
Sir.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Let's see. First we need to go for SPRO. Let's say we difference ING. Now here enter. Even without of using the mouse also we can. That's it. SPRO. Enter. And for clicking on this one, it was an F5. F5. And using by the tab, you can come down here. Right click and come down. Definition, financial accounting, and then go for define company. For clicking at choosing of this one activity button, we can use the space bar. And then we need to go for, the new entries by using the F5. By using the F5. Now let's take the F5 or the new entries. When I'm going to the new entries, it was asking about what would be your company code? What is your company? So let's take that same thing which I am making as a mankind. Let's check it out. MANKINT. It was not accepted. That means the company identification should not be more than the 6 alphanumeric digits. Either if it can be the alphabets or the numerics, but it should not be the more than the 6. That means either we can take the alphabets or the numerics or else the combination, but not more than the 6. Not more than the 6. In the situation, let's take the MAN 1, 2, 3 and what it was. Let's take the mankind groups. Mankind. And where it was located. Let's take it in a Delhi. And what will be the postal code? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what will be the postal city? Delhi. And what will be the country? And the language. And as well as the currency. And make it safe. And just make it enter. Then we will be going to save. And then we will be going to save. Done. Now come back to using by here as like as an F3 or by using it. And the next we will go for the edit copy delete company code. But in generally for creation we have to go for the edit company code. But we are not the FA. We don't know exactly what will be happening in the FA as like this. That's why what I'm doing that I am making copy of that one. For that we need to go for the copy delete company code. Copy delete company code. And here for making of a copy delete company code, this was the button. And for making of the copy, it was the transaction code of the directory to which the particular application is EC01. For creation it was an OX02. For copying it was EC01. See F6. From where, as we said that SAP system is already having the 1000 or 0001. You can make a copy for there itself. Let us copy here. See, 17% of associate tables have been written. Automatically it goes for the copying of everyone. Mostly it will take some time. You can copy here. Right. From which company code you want to make a copy? I want to make a copy from 1000. But to which company code you want to copy? From there to there. Where? So you can give anything, which I am giving here as an man1. Enter. Now it's asking, do you want to copy the GL accounts also? Yes. I don't want to know. I don't know about the file. That's why I want to copy the GL accounts also from there. For that, make it S. And do you want a different currency for the company code? Maybe that copying of the 1000 will be the some other country and some other currency. But I want to use my currency of INR. Yes. You have said that you want to use a different currency. What is the different currency? So which I am here giving the currency of INR. Done. Enter. All the data will be copied from the 1002 0001. See, everything will be copied in the down status line, which will be shows that 9%, 10%, 12%, and 16, 18, 19, 20. All the represented database tables will be copied from 1002 0001. After copying of this one, we need to make a change. Why? Because we are copied from 1000. That means the name also has been came from 1000. But I don't. I want one more link for my company code. That's for just come down. Just come back from here. Then this, this. Then. So company code was 300. And if you can come back here, now go for the edit company code data. Your company code will be there with the name of man1. So it was showing that IDESA. Just double click on this one. Just double click on this one. And make the changing of this one. Let's take down. Mankind formats. And which I am saying that it was located in dialect itself. And the country was IN. And the language is EN. And just make it save. Make it save. Okay. And now let us go for the creation of a plan. That means this company code consists of the plans. This company code consists
So what about this segment and all?
segments which we didn't in this now. The segment.
Yeah.
The segment is a name, the keyword which we can use to calculate the profitability. What is the segment in the sense of? In generally, the finance peoples are using with the sales and purchase, both of the things. So in the situation, by the segment wise, so let's say for example, one segment, the raw material wise, another segment, the client wise, another segment, by the regional wise, another segment, by journal wise, another segment, by business area wise. Whenever the controlling persons or the costing person wants to maintain their profitability, then we can use the segment. It's not in a product segment actually. It was called as a financial.
So it doesn't come in enterprise structure or what?
No, it will not comes. It will comes on the enterprise structure, but it will not related to the ML people. It will related for the ML people when during of the CO. So after completion of the purchasing, when we are making the pricing, so when we are adding the
Yeah.
price for the raw material, at that time also we will make the pricing with the different attributes. At that situation, we will use the segments. But initially, we don't require the segments. And even the business areas, where the client is doing the business and business operations in the area, which we can call as a business area. Even the segment and business area both are the same also. And even the consolidation business area. The consolidation business area is also where company physically located, which we are calling as a consolidation business area. And as well as the credit control area, that means which the credit limits we need to give for the customers when making of a sales. That's what which we can call it as a credit control area. So all those things will be considered under the enterprise structure, but not especially in the MM enterprise structure. That's what we said. So especially in
No,
MM enterprise.
because our mentor told that do an enterprise structure based on segment wise. That's
That's
why I asked.
that's what was. What I'm saying that first of all you need to create the enterprise structure by the segment wise also. In the segments wise in the sense of the FI people will be there in the team wise. In the team, whatever the segments means in your client is asking that they want to maintain the production and the profitabilities and everything by the plant wise segmentation. So in that situation, your client is asking to manage their all the plants and the MM activities by the segments. But what I am saying that initially in the project, the first work can be done by the FI people, first enterprise sector, and the next it will be comes into the sales team, and the next it will be comes into the MM, and then the next it will be comes into the HR and the warehouse and all the other things. But initially, those of the FI people already has been created business areas and segments and everything. As per that, you need to create the enterprise structure. How many of the plants are there and everything. But initially, which we need to create is of the enterprise structure instead of the segments. Even if the client is asking to maintain, they wants to maintain the plants and everything by the segment wise. At that time, we need to take the plants also by the segments wise. Simply, we can say that plant 1 in the Pune, which they are manufacturing the products of the antibiotic and anti-allergens. That is the one thing. In the Mumbai 1, they are making the manufacturing of the gynec and cardio. And the plant 3 in Mumbai, they are manufacturing the products of the general and antibiotics. That will be as a segment. But here we are making in generally what will be the enterprise structure. But after that, when during of the manufacturing also, we can have the segments and everything also. So here, after completion of the financial accounting, let's go for the logistics. In the logistics, which we can have the plant, define copy direction, plants. Let's see. Here, SPRO, IMG, SPRO, IMG, enterprise structure, definition, logistics, define copy direction, plant. So now we will go for the define plant. go for the new entries. So what would be your plan? Any 4 alphanumeric digits we can put our plan on. So here I am putting the plant name also as a name MANP. Let's take as an MANP. So which I am saying that Pune Production Unit 1, Pune plant, and make it same. And what would be the country where it was located? In India it was located. That's it. And this was the plan. And after completion of this plan, when we come back here, now we will go for the divisions. Define divisions and go for the new entries. Division is nothing but like a product line. So here in the divisions, which we will go for the M1, as which we said, the cardio division, and M2 and M2. M2. Let's take as an M2. Gynec. Gynec division. That means I am having the two different types of the divisions. Let's take as an MA and MD. Two divisions of the products will be there. We will come back here and let us go for the closing of this one. Now we will go for the MM. Under here, what would be the storage locations and which plant you want to make the storage, and which plant you want to make the storage under the plant of MANP for the Pune production unit. For the Pune production unit, select new entries. I am having the storage location of MANA. Let's take the storage location 1, MANB storage location 2. That means under the Pune I can have the 2 storage location. And even let's go for the purchasing organization. What are the different types of the purchasing departments we are having for making of any purchasing activities? Let's go for the new entries. Let's go for the new entries, and here MAN1, which I am saying that raw material purchase organization, MAN2 packing material purchase organization, MAN3 chemicals purchase organization, and let's make the same. That means I am in require these of the purchasing organizations. But after making of the manufacturing of this raw material to the finished goods, we need to make it sale. That means we need to send it to the logistic execution by shipping point. Define shipping point. And make the new entries. What will be your shipping point? Let's take the MAN1. MAN1, which I am saying that Mumbai shipping point. And how the factory calendar will be there? Monthly based transaction. And make it safe. So in generally, in MM point of view, we are required of all these of the enterprise.